Hi there, welcome to the Call to Cinema. My name is Aaron, and I'm talking to Ryan tonight from Disconnected. If you haven't been checking out Disconnected or checking out his Patreon, his Discord, you really, really should, because he puts a heck of a lot of work into it. And make sure that you do that. We'll talk about that a little bit more, and I'm going to put the links down below, as always, when I do this. So, Ryan, don't forget to save the links later on.
Yes, sir.
But tonight we are talking about what else? But what scares you? That is the jazziest opening for a scary. All right. But with that being said, I don't have my screen mask here that I normally use. I do that. But I have Mr. Team Can there. There you go. But this is your spotlight. This is your time to speak about what scares you. What film did you choose for the for something that scares you?
Well, I will say when we originally talked about this, I had an immediate choice in mind, and I was so ready to speak on it for 25 minutes. And then Mr. Brian Sauer from Just the Disc came on and stole my exact choice, because The Strangers is terrifying for me. It is something that really rocks me. I mean, being an adult with a wife that is home alone often, or, we are here with just kids and vulnerable people, that's something that can definitely be the case. But a movie that I chose is one that I have watched 4 or 5 times, and every single time it always kind of shakes me, because I have seen almost the exact scenario plan out, except for the murder that happens in the movie. But the movie I chose is the film Green Room. This is a really unique German media book of the film, but I love this movie because when I was younger, teenage years and up until probably I was about 24-ish, I did a lot with the music scene, and I helped book shows. I went to concerts. There was a month where I saw like 140 different bands in one month. I have had bands play in my living room, still here at this house, in the last couple of years. I have let bands stay at my house. I've been back in the dirtiest, grittiest, grimy green rooms in some of the worst venues across some of the states that I've been to with some of these bands. And Green Room, if you've never seen it, is a movie about a very DIY punk band that is barely making ends meet to be able to travel to the next city. And they are going to play a show out in the middle of nowhere. And when they show up to play the show, it is a venue hosted and ran by a bunch of Nazis. And as they're playing this show, they do a lot to piss off the Nazis because they don't agree with their ideologies. And something terrible happens, and they witness it, and suddenly they are stuck in this green room. And the movie really takes off from there. But it is a situation, like I said, where I've never seen anybody get hurt, drastically in any of these green rooms. But some of these situations I was in when I was a teenager, I just look back at and go, how did I survive? There are so many things I've done that I'm kind of an idiot.
That's the age to be it. That's the age to be an idiot. That's
true.
why we're seems when people see us now, it's like, you're so quiet.
Right.
This is why, guys, because we handled a lot of this crap early on in our lives and got rid of it. But I love Green Room. So what a great choice. It's a fantastic film, and make it so. We have, we got Picard here, man. We an amazing portrayal. Everybody's fantastic in this. And what I really love about this film, and I'll say it right now, is how realistic it seems.
Surely.
Like how you feel like the anxiety gets you because you can put yourself in that place. And especially, like, I am not the musically gifted person, so I did not go around green rooms like you do. You did. And if I did anything like that, it was and some like, nope, nothing like that, actually.
Right.
I
And
will.
watching this, I literally could picture green rooms that I saw that felt like the one in this movie. That was the craziest thing when I first saw this, because not a lot of movies really get that tone right. And some of those like gutter punk venues are, first off, they're disgusting. Like you walk in there and there's, hardly any free wall space visible because it's all been graffitied or, sharpied or stickers on it from bands that played there 14 years ago and they still haven't cleaned anything. A lot of these places, they felt dangerous. A lot of these places, if my parents found out that I was there, I probably would have been in a hell of a lot of trouble. So yeah, they did an incredible job on the set design on this film. But again, the cast, just like you said, Anton Yelchin, Imogen Poots, Patrick Stewart, just playing this out of nowhere stone cold Nazi, really terrible person.
The opposite of Patrick Stewart.
Right. So go ahead.
No. I'm just going to say, no, that's one of the things I love about it.
For me, the reason it's so scary is because it's so realistic. And that's what I love about this movie. And really everything from Jeremy Saulnier, I believe is how you say his last name, everything he's done that I've seen is all very, not just like feasible, but it's filmed and presented in a way that really makes you put yourself in that situation. The movie he did before Green Room was called Blue Ruin, and it is essentially it's just a revenge flick, but it is done in a way that feels so real that I could feel the tension ramping up, and it kind of affected me the same way people felt with like Uncut Gems and Good Time, because that whole time your heart's just racing until the end of the movie, until this massive climax. But with Blue Ruin and Green Room, it kind of starts racing early on and doesn't stop until the end. So for those, they affected me almost as much. But I see myself going back to movies like Green Room and Blue Ruin even more. I don't know what it is, but I really just think he has a great eye for cinematography.
I forgot they did Blue Room, which is a fantastic freaking film, by the way. Blue and green, right? You got the color duality right there.
Yep.
But Anton Yelchin, man, rest in peace. Holy crap! No, I did not expect this. I got to say, when people come on and they say, "Well, I'm going to choose a movie," I say, "Well, someone's going to choose a classic, or it's going to be a Texas Chainsaw, or it's going to be a Friday 13th or an Evil Dead." So to get something kind of out there like Green Room, which is a film that I can legitimately say that I love, and I'd be like, that's an interesting choice. No, but no, this is one of those anxiety like filled films.
Right.
As a guy that had anxiety issues when I was like a little younger, yeah, this definitely ramps up the anxiety for me, and I'm all about it. I love this film. Fantastic joke, by the way, and scary.
Yeah, it really is. And I've got some classics that scare me. I mean, my first real foray into horror that I remember is Halloween. My parents showed me that when I was 8 years old. And then at the end, they told me that I was like stiff as a board the entire film, and I didn't realize it. But other than that, the biggest thing that gets me nowadays is realistic things. And I'm not as scared by like The Exorcist because I don't believe in any of it. I'm not as scared in these jump scares like Insidious that a lot of people are frightened by. However, one of the things that you and I both have in common is we both got kids. And so a lot of situations where these movies show kids in peril, or a situation where parents it's like a revenge film for something happening to their kids, those get to me a lot as well.
Some of those I have to stand back, and I just, there's certain ones that haven't been able to finish watching because they do get to me. And right. I know I want to watch Black Phone, but I'm nervous about watching Black Phone because, again, I'm a dad, and those things after a while they get to me. My late aunt, I love dearly. So she was I was staying with her at the time, and she was pregnant. So she got Pet Cemetery. She ran a Pet Cemetery. Did not know anything about it. Having her first buy, and my God, the reaction when Cade gets with the truck.
Yep.
Oh God, I felt so bad. Oh, but she was like so freaked out.
I'm sure.
And she was the ultimate. But yeah, and that's the thing with movies that stick with you. That are, for me, it's a lot of these realistic films. Strangers, when as soon as Brian said that, it was like, yes, that's my trigger film.
Right.
Like Home Invasion scares the hell out of me.
Yep.
That's why those type of films always get me. Green Room is it the same type of thing? Is that you're put into this situation and it's almost, it seems like there's no way out.
Right.
There's no escape, and
No matter what.
exactly, like it just, and with Green Room it keeps amping up. Like it starts in not a good place, and from decisions that are made, it just keeps getting worse.
Oh yeah.
So, and you're like, okay, where's it going to go from here? And often it goes there. So for me, that's one of those that just does it.
Green Room certainly goes there, that's for sure.
But is there a reason like you thought of it like first, like your go-to? So you said Strangers was going to be your go-to, and then Green Room, like bang. And I'm glad you chose Green Room, because I don't know who else would have chose it, but man, it's a fantastic choice.
Green Room is, a lot of people have the Letterboxd top 4 films that they have on their Letterboxd profile. Green Room is one of the only ones that has sat on top of my Letterboxd profile since it came out, and it is, again, I think it's because I was in so many situations where I saw myself in those types of rooms that it was an immediate grab of my senses, and because of that, when we ask what scares me, it is my go-to answer when we're not talking about The Strangers, because there are a lot of vulnerabilities in life, and we're talking about kids, we're talking about real life situations like home invasion, but there are so many times that I could look back and say, through these poor decisions that I made when I was younger, I would not be surprised if I had been very, very hurt or mugged or killed or isolated or had my car stolen and left in the middle of nowhere countless times, literally. And somehow nothing bad ever happened, literally not even once. And I came out squeaky clean and feeling like I've been too responsible my entire life. And I mean, that's good. I'm safe. I'm here. I've got a family. But yeah, looking back, there's a lot of cringe. Like, why did you ever decide to do this? I mean, I watch some of these movies and question the decisions they're making. I made the same or worse decisions. I'm not any better.
It's true. When people say, well, people always make stupid decisions in horror movies. Well, that's because nobody goes through their life thinking, at least I don't think they do, well, I guess there's a serial killer outside. Right. I'm not going to check it out. Everybody checks out the noise. Every single person. I don't know anybody that doesn't check, like, oh, I heard a strange noise. What do you do? What's your automatic thing? You go to the strange noise. But
I'm a big guy, so I know that I can intimidate somebody. Yeah, but I'm fat, so I can't run. So it's always a bad decision to check out the noise if there's something there.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, everybody checks out the noise. Everybody goes outside. I had I was living in St. John's, and somebody was like banging on all the doors, and nobody was going inside. And finally, it comes to my door, and she's like banging, she's screaming, and she could have been anyone. Like, she could have been outside with somebody behind her, bam, whatever, robbed me. But no, she wasn't. She was a lady of the evening, and she just got beaten up. So I opened up the door, and there were some couple ladies across the road, younger girls, and they came out too. And so we called an ambulance, called police, type of thing. But no, that's your normal reaction. I think is the dumbest possible reaction. That's just what you do. And you could have, if this was a horror movie, I would open the door and she's got a mask, she's a killer. Absolutely. But there you go. I don't know, man. Those Green Room things, though, I don't know if I would have done it even back then.
And that's the thing. I never felt, genuinely in those situations, I never felt unsafe. But looking back, there are a lot of scenarios where I know that some of those bands, they literally fought or had knives pulled on them by other people, or I mean, countless stories. There's one time I went to a show, and literally like 2 days later, the same band played a show, and a guy came up and stabbed the lead singer in the hand and like eviscerated one of his fingers. So stuff like that can occur all the time. And the way that I've helped, do show promotions. I've been on stage for bands to help them out with things. I've seen some crazy injuries and all that stuff, but just hanging out in the back room with people, sometimes you never think anything like this is going to go down. And this movie just laid a lot out there. And I don't know, to visualize that, I don't see myself ever being in a situation like that again. That's for sure.
Green Room. I love the movie anyway. So fantastic chase, Phil.
Thank you.
I'm going to get you. I'm going to keep you here because you know why. You know the reason. Anyway, guys, if you have not checked out Disconnected, make sure you're checking out his channel. Check out his Patreon. I'm going to link that down below, down there, with his social media stuff and all that. He does some great stuff. He's got a Discord, which I've got to get him to explain to me because I got to get one of those things done one of these days. I'm the old man with that, and I'm the guy people come to for tech stuff. That blows my mind. How bad are people at tech stuff that I'm the person they come to? There you go. Anyway, Ryan, thank you so much for joining me here in what scares you, in a great addition and some great backstory on you as well. You crazy man. Don't let your kids know about this stuff until they get older. But with that being said, my name is Aaron. This has been What Scares You, and I will see you here again for I want to get you back on for we're going to pretend like we're not doing these back to back, but for Saturday Morning Memories, which is totally not going to be filmed back to back.
Thanks for having me. I'll see you in a week for Saturday Memories then.
Of course.